Good evening, everybody. It is meteorologist Aiden's weather forecast here, and welcome back to another weather update. Before we get into this video, I do apologize for posting a bit later than usual. I just had a cross-country meet at 5, and I just got home. If you guys are wondering how I did, I actually got third place at about 200 boys, so I did okay. I actually did pretty good, but yeah, that's why this video is coming a bit later. So guys, if this is going to be a tropical update, as you guys can tell, and Hurricane Dorian actually has a huge chance to become a possibly even Category 4 hurricane right before it strikes Florida, and that can actually have a bigger chance of possibly affecting Georgia and the Carolinas. So it can go off the coast, go inland of Florida, and potentially affect the southeast coast. So guys, before we get into the video, be sure to like the video. Also, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We are 8 subscribers from 1,800. We're getting there very close and very fast. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So we are going to be looking at the 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook here. And again, here we have Dorian, Hurricane Dorian. It's at 75 knots, but I actually think it's at 90 knots because this is actually the NOAA has not updated within the last couple hours. They're kind of like this, but Tropical Tidbits does show 90 knots, so I believe it is 90 knots now. So it's actually kind of a category. It's actually more of a Category 2 now. But we're just gonna be seeing here. It shows 85 miles per hour. The last time we saw central pressure, it was at 986. So it's extremely organized. It had a lot of circulation, and it's still moving at 13 miles per hour towards the west of the Bahamas. Florida, it's actually changed the cone a lot. So now we're gonna be looking here at the radar here. And again, we actually have a lot of vorticity. It looks like it has slowed down based on this, but it just hasn't. So again, here we have the system. Let me get this thing to work. So here it is. It's actually a lot bigger. Let me just go back to the black because this is just from the last video I used, the yellow. So here's the system right here, Hurricane Dorian. It is not incredibly big, but again, once it gets to that Category 3 status, it will be very, very big. And it's a very huge threat. My grandpa was thinking about coming up here because of the hurricane. So, again, we also have some bands right here. We actually have some very huge bands that will bring in a lot of rain for the outer areas. Again, it's not very close to any inland areas right now, so we don't have to really look at it anything a whole lot here. Again, it's going to bring a huge threat. We have a lot of vorticity right here, just a lot of rotation. It's kind of like a tornado, but we're just seeing this, a lot of rotation, which is actually pretty good. And we have a huge cloud cover that is behind this system, which can bring additional rainfall. And I wouldn't be surprised if this system right here, or these cloud covers actually somewhat connect, and that's when really we'll see a decently huge size. So now we're going to be looking at the cone and the timing. This is the thing that actually has changed a whole lot really the past couple of hours. So again, here we have this huge area with a tropical storm force wind. Again, this one has not updated a whole lot. It still has to show hurricane. But again, this is what it showed the last time updated, because when I refreshed it, it actually changed up. So again, here we have this cone here for the next couple of days. Let me try to get this right here. So it is right here. It's actually moved a lot further from Puerto Rico. It's really, really moved a lot faster than expected. So it's actually been getting extremely close to Florida, to the Florida coast within the next 3 days. We expect it to become a major hurricane tomorrow, guys. So that's going to be a huge update. And I'm planning on possibly live streaming on Saturday, but that could change. I might just do like maybe a double or triple upload on this. So again, we have a potentially a major hurricane by 2 p.m. Friday, so like right before my school gets out. And then we will actually have a bigger threat possibly for the Bahamas now. Again, it looks like it was just going to go right here. But now we actually have a huge threat for major hurricane landfall in the northern islands of the Bahamas. So a couple hundred miles off the Miami coast or Fort Lauderdale coast. And it's going to get extremely close on Monday. Monday is actually when we should have landfall. And by Tuesday, it's going to be very far inland as a hurricane. So again, this 4 to 5 day cone has spread a whole lot because as it goes inland, it's going to be spreading out. So we have parts of Georgia here in Valdosta all the way to Miami. It really looks like maybe possibly Lakeland and some other areas in the eastern coast of Florida. You guys can actually have to be extremely careful with this system. Again, we don't have really a whole lot of release warnings or watches, But yesterday, Florida did issue a state of emergency, and I actually really won't be surprised if Georgia issued the state of emergency tomorrow. I really won't be surprised because, again, as we look at the track guidance, some of them going at possibly through Florida, or sorry, through Georgia, and then some just going to the Gulf. A lot of the models do favor the Gulf, and then we're going to be looking at tracks right now. So here are the tracks. We have a couple models showing going possibly east and possibly hitting North Carolina, but the TABD was never really in agreement. We have the CTCI, COTI that are favoring possibly moving a bit north. And then we have a couple models here that are favoring possibly taking a turn to the northeast and possibly affecting southern Georgia. Before we really look at when it makes landfall, or when it makes landfall, let's look at where it goes before landfall in the United States. So again, it's for the next basically for the next 3 days, we don't have to, or more like for the next 2.5 days, we don't have to worry about getting extremely close to inland. But by the next 3 days, we should have a huge issue for the northern Bahamas right here. A lot of the models are favoring hitting as a possibly Category 4, which is a huge deal. And I'm going to have to go possibly going up, or not, that was not really what I intended to do. I really think it's going to go up like this through south central Florida, or Georgia. Again, I really don't know if you guys can tell, but it looks like it goes like straight through Orlando. It looks like it goes like that turn right with Orlando, and then we have it going those couple models showing ending out into the Gulf of Mexico too. I really don't think it's going to do that. I actually think it might take that turn. But again, many of you guys would disagree with that. But I think it starts to take that turn once it gets to Orlando. And then again, the models stop right here, so you can't really see it. These are just advanced models that go a bit further out. But I don't know if you guys tell, we see a lot of models starting to turn up, but it just stops. But again, we have 3 areas where it can go. We have it possibly go like this. That's one possibility, but it's very low. We can have it go like this. And that's a decently sized, and then we have it going into the Gulf of Mexico, which seems to be the biggest threat based on the model tracks. Now we're going to be looking at the intensity guidance here. Again, it's showing at 75 knots, but it's actually 90. So we're going to be looking at a Category 2 here. And it's going to be getting very close to Category 3. Again, it will become a major hurricane tomorrow. So we will have this deadline right here within the Category 2 and Category 3. And then all the models are showing getting Category 3. We have a whole lot of models showing getting to a major Category 3. Not like a week. We don't have it kind of go like that. We actually haven't getting very, very close to Category 4 again. We have extremely good chances for having a Category 4. And a lot of models are favoring it. We have about 5 or 6 models showing Category 4. And that'll be a huge threat for the eastern area or the eastern coast of Florida. From southeastern to northeastern Florida, it's going to be a widespread threat. And then it's also going to be weakening very fast. Once it really reaches Florida, it should weaken very fast. Within, like, it can go to Category 4 to a tropical storm within, like, the 12 or 24 hours when it's showing. It's going to go, like, straight down. So, again, it's not going to be like Irma. It's not going to be going as hitting as a Category 4 in Florida and then becoming a tropical storm still all the way in Georgia. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be weakening incredibly fast. But anyways, if you're a couple hundred miles away, you will still be feeling these winds. And we're going to be looking at the winds right now. So again, within the next couple of hours, here we have the system bringing in about 72 knots. Again, the European model is a little behind. So this is not exactly... This is what's going to be showing here. Again, the European model is usually 12 or 18 hours behind, so you got to go a bit further within 24 hours, or 36 hours. That's kind of more like 12 hours ahead. And it's still accurate. But here we have the system here about 85 knots, so that's going to be extremely strong here. It's going to be actually looking like the European is favoring to actually hit South Florida. It's actually showing taking a weird turn right for the Bahamas, for the many islands, almost all the islands of the Bahamas. That's kind of what it's showing. And it's honestly very, very huge threat because it could hit Atlantis, and a lot of you guys like going out there at that time. At least it's not like July, but it's going to be reaching possibly at 103 knots there. And it looks like it goes straight up the coast of Florida. So it doesn't really look like it really makes a lot, the eye wall contact with Miami. Looks like it goes straight up. Let me use the black since it's more of a... It looks like it kind of goes like this, really. So it's honestly very weird. The European has really changed within the last couple of hours. And it looks like it actually could be a huge threat for actually Savannah if you are in Myrtle Beach, actually all the way from Jacksonville. It's actually going to bring in very strong winds for me, possibly maybe even 34 knots there. And that would bring a huge system. And then we actually look like we have a threat. Looks like we have another threat in the Atlantic, or maybe even two. So guys, that's what we're really looking at, the wind. Now we're looking at the radar here. Again, here it is right now, getting very close to the Bahamas. It's going to be very, very strong again, bringing a lot of rain for these areas. It will start to bring in some rain showers from the Bahamas a couple days before, but here we have it. It's going to be possibly at 983 millibars. Extremely strong low pressure system. It's going to be reaching even 969 millibars. And then again, the GFS has been showing it hitting northern Florida, like Jacksonville, as the European has been showing southern Florida. So again, that's why I said from southeastern to northeastern. And it looks like it does bring in a huge threat for Georgia, for the Carolinas. So that's why I'm saying we should have a threat for Carolinas. And then again, it brings a lot of rain for the next coming days. And now we're going to be looking at the total accumulated precip to see how much rain we can really see in these areas for those people who are wondering. Again, the most amount of rain we're actually going to be, surprisingly, not going to be the Bahamas. We're actually going to have a lot more rain right here into the United States. Here we're going to have possibly even around 16 to 20 inches. So it's going to be a huge threat. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And bye guys.